Hi everyone, happy new year. Welcome back to a new video. Today's video is all about those winter essentials, those pieces that you need if you live in a place where it's really cold but you still want to look stylish. Now, this is the first video that I've filmed in more than a month. I went in for surgery in early December, so this feels really strange at the moment, so bear with me. I will give a bit of an update on how I'm doing at the end of the video, but for now let's get into those essentials you'll need for the coming months. Now, if you're new here or you don't know, I am originally from South Africa, so the country where it is sunshine literally 99% of the year. The winters there are nothing compared to winters in Canada, so I had to really kind of find those pieces that will keep me nice and warm, that are practical, that are made for Canadian winters, but I also wanted to look stylish, so I did all the work for us. I'm going to share with you my secrets and those key pieces that I wear during winter to ensure that I still look stylish and put together. So firstly, let's talk about the base layers, because in my opinion this is the most important. These will ensure that you are warm, but they will also allow you to wear most of your normal clothes to a certain extent. So I absolutely live in Uniqlo base layers and socks during winter, specifically their heat tech range. They are made for cold climates, so they just keep you nice and warm. So for the base layers, I love their heat tech ultra light long sleeve t-shirts. I have the crew necks. This one is a turtleneck. I have them in a lot of different colors and different styles. I prefer the ultra light because they're nice and thin and they really easily layer under my sweaters and my cardigans and all of my other clothes. So I love the ultra light, but you can get thicker options. I think there's like a medium and then there is an ultra warm as well, so it just depends on where you live or how much extra warmth you need. I have some of the thicker ones as well, but they just don't layer as well underneath my thicker sweaters. So I love these. They're really affordable. As I said, they come in a bunch of colors and they are just such a great layering piece that will allow you to still wear all of your sweaters and cardigans because they add some nice warmth. And then because I am always cold and my feet are always cold, I love the heat tech socks. They are nice and thin. I hate thick socks. I don't love my feet feeling squished into my shoes, and that's the feeling I get whenever I wear really thick socks. So I love thin socks, but because I do get cold quite easily, I need some heat tech socks, and these are nice and thin ones. They come in a bunch of styles, a lot of different colors. I tend to go for kind of the basic neutral colors, so browns, navies, grays and blacks, and I wear this every single day, kind of from like mid-fall until early spring, and you can wear them with boots, with sneakers, with loafers. They're just a really great sock that will keep your feet nice and warm. So both of these are essentials as kind of the starting points of all of my winter outfits. Then onto knitwear. Now, since moving to Canada, I've really started investing in my knitwear because I realized that natural fibers like mohair, wool and cashmere are just those that will keep you the warmest, and if you take good care of them, they will also last a lot longer than synthetic knitwear. So I have been spending a bit more on my knitwear just because I find that these pieces keep me the warmest during these Canadian winters. So the first type of knit that I absolutely love and kind of live in during winter is these cashmere roll neck knits. This one is from Lily Silk that I got probably 2 years ago. I have a black one and I have a cream one. Then I have a burgundy one and I have kind of a brownish color. So I have them in a few different colors. I want to pick up a gray one as well, a lighter gray, because I think that will also fit in really well with my winter wardrobe. But these roll necks are just so good for layering. This just layers really well over top of those Uniqlo Heattech base layers. And what I love about them is that they're cashmere. They're nice and soft, especially the Lily Silk ones, and even the Uniqlo cashmere. I find that they aren't itchy, so if you are sensitive, you might want to have a look at these. They're nice and soft. They keep me really warm, but they're not too bulky. So if I don't want anything too bulky or chunky, then I opt for these. And I have crew neck cashmere sweaters as well. I don't tend to wear them as often in winter because I love the roll neck to keep my neck nice and warm. For some reason I haven't gotten into scarves for the last couple of years, so I rely on my kind of roll necks and chunky neck knitwear to keep me nice and warm. But the cashmere knits are a firm favorite. And then the other type of knitwear I love in winter, and this is specifically if I want something that is a bit chunkier, something that has a bit more texture to it. I love these mohair and wool blend sweaters. This one I actually just got from COS, also in the sale. I just love this beautiful taupey brown color. This one I'm wearing is from Suzanne, and it's also a mohair blend, I believe. It keeps me nice and warm. I know this isn't for everyone. It tends to be itchy if you are sensitive, but I do find that if you wear one of those layering pieces from Uniqlo, those base layers, then you don't feel them at all. This one specifically isn't like a roll neck or a chunky neck sweater, but what I will do with this one, if it's really cold outside, I would take one of those base layers from Uniqlo, the turtleneck one, and then I would just wear it underneath this. It creates just such a nice layering effect, and will keep my neck nice and warm. And someone actually recently on Instagram asked me where they can get really good sweaters. Now, some of my favorites include Lily Silk. Uniqlo have some amazing wool and cashmere sweaters at a really affordable price. I also love COS sweaters. They're slightly more expensive. Suzanne ones as well. I actually own a few Suzanne sweaters. The quality is amazing, and they're also nice and warm. And then I've heard great things about Everlane as well. So I always you can really buy the sweaters anywhere. Just look at the composition. So cashmere, mohair, wool are great ones to look at to keep you nice and warm. Then for pants. Now, I have never been one to wear like a base layer legging underneath my trousers. I just can't get myself so far to do that. Maybe it's because I don't live someplace where it's really cold. I mean, winters in Toronto are cold, but they're nothing compared to the winters up north. Then I would probably maybe wear one of those base layer leggings, but I can get away without it. I just don't love the feeling. So I've got a few tricks up my sleeve to make sure that my legs are nice and warm. So when it comes to pants, there are kind of two styles that I gravitate towards in winter just because they keep me nice and warm. Number one is a pair of wool trousers. As I said earlier, these natural fibers like wool keep you nice and warm. This is a pair of wool trousers from Aritzia, and what I love about them, they are 100% wool and the quality is really beautiful, but they're also lined kind of 3/4 down the leg, so that additional lining also helps to keep your legs nice and warm. I own 2 or 3 pairs of these wool trousers specifically from Aritzia. They keep me nice and toasty during winter. I also have a few pairs from COS, and I used to never look at specifically wool trousers until I moved to Canada, but they are well worth the investment. They tend to be a bit more expensive, but they definitely serve me well in keeping me nice and warm. And I love the fact that they are tailored, so they give that really polished and elevated look to any outfit. And then the other style of trousers that I love in winter, specifically to keep me warm, is a pair of leather trousers. These ones I've had for a couple of years. They're from Reformation and they are real leather, but they are lined as well. So if it's not cold, say for instance fall or early spring, the lining will prevent it from sticking to your skin, but in winter when it's really cold, the lining actually also helps to keep you nice and warm. So I absolutely love these. Faux leather trousers will also keep you nice and warm. The fact that they can kind of prevent the wind from just blowing right through you is definitely a bonus. That is why they're so great in winter in keeping you warm. But I love my leather trousers, wear them multiple times a week, so they are definitely a staple in my winter wardrobe. Then the piece that I think is the most important when it comes to looking stylish and keeping you warm, that is your coat. This is the outer piece. It's the piece that faces all of the elements. It's also the piece that everyone sees first, especially if you're out and about. No one really sees your outfit, they only see your coat. So I highly recommend investing in a good quality coat that will keep you warm. They will last you for years and years, but this will allow you to still look stylish and chic while keeping you warm. So if you've followed me for a while, then you've heard me rave on and on about Aritzia coats. So when we first moved to Canada, I bought a puffer coat, which I'll show you in a minute, but I still bought some Mango and Zara coats, which there's nothing wrong with those, but I just didn't find they kept me really warm, especially in the middle of winter, until I discovered Aritzia coats. Now the reason I love Aritzia coats is you can get 100% wool or wool cashmere blend coats. This one is a wool cashmere blend, but they have a grading system, so they actually tell you for what temperatures their coats or jackets are good for. So this one specifically will keep you warm until -20 degrees Celsius. I always go for those because that means I'm always guaranteed to be warm. It doesn't really get a lot colder than that here in Toronto. But there are various grades. You can have a look at that on their website, but I find that the quality of these is just outstanding for the price, and it keeps you nice and warm. I own a few Aritzia coats, probably 4 or 5 now, a few different styles, a few different neutral colors. I just love their coats. I love ones that have some structure to them, so strong shoulders, and I also always go for the long coats because that will also ensure that your legs are nice and warm. But I highly recommend these coats. They're just really great and practical for winters where it's really cold. And honestly, I wear these coats all the time. The only times that I don't wear them is if it's like torrential downpour outside, or if it's snowing, then I will wear my puffer coat. But the rest of the time, these are perfect. They keep me nice and warm, and I still look very chic and polished. Then let's talk about the accessories that will keep you nice and warm, and which ones I recommend to still look stylish. So firstly, we've got beanies. And I've never worn beanies until I moved to Canada, and then I realized that they are kind of an essential part of a winter wardrobe here, and I put it off for the longest time until I just told my husband, listen, I think I need to go and buy a beanie now because my ears are freezing. So they have become part of me in winter, but I've gone through quite a few until I found the ones that I love. that are stylish, they look great, but also keep me nice and warm. And these are also from Aritzia. Can you see there's a bit of a theme? But what I love about these, they're cashmere, so they're nice and soft. I don't particularly love wool beanies because I find them to be really itchy, but the cashmere ones are really soft and I find them to be really comfortable. But the other thing that I love about these is that they are double lined, so they are, or at least they have a double layer, so that means that they are extra toasty. And I mean, it's a beanie, so if you're not into hats or you don't love them, then they will look strange, but you know what, I will take this any day if it means that my ears are nice and warm. So these are a must for me. I own them in a few different colors and I just kind of color coordinate them with my outfits. Then gloves, another essential part of winter wardrobes here in Canada, and probably like if you live anywhere in North America or Europe, gloves are a must in winter. Now I've got two pairs. The first pair is a leather pair that my dad got me in Italy, I want to say 6 or 7 years ago, maybe even longer. They are leather and then they have this fleece lining, so they just are like a normal pair of gloves, nothing special about them, but they keep my hands nice and warm. I wear these, I want to say end of fall to early winter because they aren't thick enough for middle of winter here in Canada. But if you're looking for just a really pair of stylish gloves and you don't live somewhere where it goes like way below freezing, then you can get away with normal leather gloves like these. What I love about normal leather gloves is if the wind is really chilly, then they don't go through the gloves. That's why I just can't wear knitted gloves anytime, because I just find that they don't keep my hands warm. So leather gloves, and then I also have these. Now these are proper winter gloves. I actually had a pair of like ski gloves that I bought when we first moved here, but they just don't go with most of my outfits. So I eventually found a pair of like proper winter gloves that are lined. They have a fleece lining, a double fleece lining, and they're nice and insulated. So they're a proper leather glove, but they are leather, so they still look stylish, but they will keep my hands nice and warm. They are a lot thicker than my normal leather gloves, but they are just really great in keeping my hands nice and warm. So these are my gloves, and if you're looking for just a pair of normal leather gloves, I've seen some ones on Cars. I think Massimo Dutti and other stores also have some beautiful leather gloves. If you're looking for something like this that is a bit more hard wearing and proper leather, or at least proper winter gloves, then I would definitely have a look at sports or kind of ski shops online or in store, because that's where I got these. Then I did mention my puffer coat earlier, so I really only wear my puffer coat when it is snowing outside or when it's raining really hard, because this one is actually waterproof as well. But for the most part, I just love wearing my wool coats because I just feel a lot more stylish and polished in those. But if I need to be really practical, then I wear my puffer coat. This one I actually got from Gap 3 years ago, and it actually is held up really well and keeps me nice and warm. But I will link the ones from Aritzia, the Super Puffs, I believe, because it looks quite similar to this. But this is just your typical really practical winter coat that there's no way getting around it. They are an essential. So on the snow days I bring out this one, or when I just go for a quick walk outside and I don't want to fuss too much. Also well worn in my wardrobe. So you might have noticed that I haven't mentioned shoes yet, and that's always a really hot topic when it comes to dressing for winter. And you know what? Most of the time, if I know I'm going somewhere, like specifically to say go have lunch or out and about, say the mall or someplace where I'm going to be indoors, I just wear my normal shoes, like either sneakers or my leather boots. If I wear my Uniqlo socks, then my feet are nice and toasty. But if I know I'm going to do a lot of walking outside, and if it is snowing and there's slush and it is slippery, then there's nothing else you can do apart from bringing out your snow boots. They're definitely not the most stylish, but they keep your feet dry and warm, which sometimes that's just the most important. So these are the UGG boots. They are waterproof. I will link them down below. They are lined as well, so they keep your feet really nice and warm. I actually find that sometimes my feet get too warm when I wear these, so they are really great. In hindsight, I probably should have gotten the all black ones, which in my wardrobe would have just been a bit more versatile, but these have served me really well when I've had to go for a really practical pair of snow boots. But most of the time, as I said, if I know I'm not gonna be walking outside a lot, then I just wear my normal shoes. And it really isn't that uncommon to wear your snow boots while you're commuting and then just slip on your normal shoes when you're indoors, say when you get to work or wherever you're going. It's not unheard of, and a lot more common than you think, so that's always an option. The shoes can be the tricky part, but I just play it by ear and see what the weather looks like outside. And that is it for today's video. If you've made it this far, thank you so much. I told you it was going to be a long and chatty one. And before I sign off, I just want to thank everyone for your lovely and thoughtful messages, your DMs, your prayers. It didn't go unnoticed, and I so appreciate that. If you don't know, I went in for hip replacement surgery at the beginning of December, so that's why I've taken an extended break from Instagram and from YouTube while I've been recovering. But the surgery was a really big success and my recovery has been going really well, so I'm just really grateful for that. But I'm not yet as mobile as I want to be, and as independent as I want to be, which makes me really impatient, but I know I shouldn't be. But that's why today's video was more of a show and tell. But hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll be a bit more mobile and actually putting on and styling outfits. I've got so many ideas for upcoming content, which I'm really excited for. But if you have any suggestions, something you really want to see, then leave those suggestions in the comments down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I would love for you to join the Styled family, and don't forget to go and give me a follow over on Instagram. I have been posting styling content over there, content that I pre-filmed before my surgery, so if you haven't seen that, definitely go and check that out, and don't forget to go and give me a follow over there. And that is it for today's video. I'll see you again in the next video. I hope you all have a lovely week. Bye.